Hello and welcome to Small Shift, Big Impact, our weekly podcast from Gestalt Trainings, and I'm Sourav. And as you know, in this podcast, what we do is we look at small shifts that resulted in creating a huge impact in the companies. Today, we would talk about a company from Kolkata. But before that, let me ask you something. When was the last time that you really learned something out of the training? I mean, say around, you still practice something from a training that you attended 3 months back. Interesting question. So, the company that I'm talking about has flipped the traditional way of training and had got excellent results. Results like the skills increased by 75% and the employee satisfaction increased by another 60%. The customer satisfaction increased by 65%. Isn't it interesting? But here was what the current state was, or what the state was before it changed and why it changed. So this is a call center, a huge call center based out of Kolkata called Firstsource. And they usually deal with calls from the banks and the telcos. Now, they faced a very interesting problem. The agents were pulled out for 2 days every month to get into trainings like communication skills, products, etc., etc. However, what was found is that the retention was really low. What they actually found out was that after a test was conducted, they found that the retention stood at 55%. 85% was completely lost. Why did that happen? It happened because of a very simple thing. We don't learn in 8 hours. It's like trying to drink water from a hose pipe. We drink sips of water. So we drink in a way, or we learn in a way wherein it comes in small chunks. We can practice it, we can apply it, and we can reflect on it. That is when we completely learn. So what was the solution? The solution is they implemented a very interesting thing, which was based out of questions. Questions like, what is the first thing that you tell the caller? How do you react when the customer asks for a refund? What are the 3 ways in which you can practice empathy with a customer? So these were questions, and these were questions which were sent on the computer screens every morning at 9 a.m. And interestingly, these questions had a pattern through the week. These questions took 2 minutes time to answer, and the answers were crowdsourced. So if I'm answering something, I can check what was the right answer from a colleague, what was the best answer from a colleague, and I can follow that up. And these had a particular pattern. So Mondays, questions were on a new concept. Tuesdays, the questions were on practice. Wednesdays, the questions were on a real world application. Thursdays, the questions were on the recollection. And Fridays, the questions were on reflections, which means what went good, what could be improved. And anyone who could not answer the questions got repeated the next week. So what happened was, the learning and development had a whole data bank of things that they wanted to teach in terms of skills and an assessment of who stands where. The results were astounding. The results, like I said, went up in every parameter. Added to that, what also happened is the attrition dropped by 40%. The call times also dropped by 30%, along with all the other things that I've already stated at the beginning of the episode. Isn't that interesting, and why it worked? We all know why it worked right now, because it came in small chunks. People could practice it, people could reflect on it. It was under 2 minutes, so the implementation of the learning became much more easier. What can we do around this learning? We can actually find out skills that we need to develop inside our organizations, frame questions around it. We can implement it easily through a WhatsApp group or an email, and we can check where the skill moves in under a month's time. You can always reach out to us if you need help doing this micro learning sessions. Thank you so much for listening to us. We'll be back with the next episode next week. Thank you for listening.